pause and focus on you. Ooh, what's going on inside? Let's talk about love and truth and the matter of who we are. Let's find out together on Tell It To Stanya.
Pleasant good afternoon. Welcome back to a Saturday afternoon. This is Stanya Davis. Of course, I am she and she is me. Boy, listen, I really thought I was going to be late today because the traffic on that road today, oh my God, it was a whole lot. So let me just jump on in. I'm very excited about today's show, and I'm excited because I had thoughts of becoming a gypsy. I had this thing called gypsy life, and gypsy life is, or was, is soon to be maybe me moving from country to country, living from country to country. Actually, I was going to start with just doing it in the Bahamas locally, like, going from island to island, spending a few months here, then going to another island, and then eventually I would have expanded and, went worldwide, international. Got a hold of me, and unfortunately, gypsy life had to go on a back burner. So there I was minding my own business. I swear I'd be minding my own business. Scrolling through TikTok, and I saw this video with this gentleman talking about living abroad and being in this country, that country. Mind you, he was in some countries, but I ain't even sure if I could pronounce all them country name, but anyhow, he was, just traveling and living. And, so I started to kind of stalk him a little bit. And definitely when I saw that he said that he lives, or they live, basically about $1,500 a month. I was like, wait, hold on now. $1,500 a month? Man, this sound good. I need to investigate this. So today's show, I have two guests with me who has, I don't want to say done the unthinkable, but definitely they are living life on their own terms. And I think it is simply amazing and phenomenal. So today's show is for you if you are just like me and you've been thinking about leaving this rock and just, taking it on the road and just doing your thing. Let's figure out how the heck they doing this. So I want to welcome my guests today. Brittany, they with me? Dawn and Ron?
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, Ron's on his way in. He's grabbing something. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. Excited to share our travels.
Okay. So you sure this wasn't Ron trying to put you at the forefront?
Listen, I'm giving him a stink eye right now.
Hello.
Because this kind of sound a little tricky and sly. I know. This is.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, man. This sound like a setup.
I was digging through my stuff. We didn't unpack yet, but I was hoping that my microphone was close, but it's not.
Okay. Well, the good thing is we can hear you. Well, I can hear
Excellent.
you, so it's good to go. So first of all, where are you guys right now?
We just arrived in Sarajevo, Bosnia, yesterday morning.
Boy, I ain't even gonna try pronounce. Anyway, here we go. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not. Hey, no, child. This ain't gonna be no 40 minutes. No. Y'all ain't getting me like that. So, so for starters, I want to go back. I want to go all the way back. Like, how did y'all even think to do something like this? And I mean, y'all didn't even say, well, let's go to the States or do something that's a little familiar. Y'all chose to go far, far away. So how did this whole thing come up?
That's my fault.
I was just about to say that's all Dawn's fault.
Okay. And Dawn, where are y'all from? Which
I'm
island?
from Abaco.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Malawar for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm from Nassau.
Okay, cool. All right. So how did this come up? Like, how did y'all decide this is what we're going to do?
So we've been together for over a decade, and I had been begging, about going to explore, and Dorian happened. And I finally got on the computer without him, and I just started researching countries on this side. And the more I looked, the better it sounded. The more research I did, the better it looked. And finally, I somehow, with a woman's persuasive ways,
Uh-huh.
got him on board.
Okay. So how
Yeah,
long?
I just like to say too, 13-year thing. She took literally 13 years to convince me
Yeah.
to take an 8-hour flight.
Okay, so this thought came about before Dorian.
Yes, it had
Okay.
been, yes, lightly discussed, but I didn't feel like I was ever going to get anywhere with him.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So time went
Dorian,
by.
it was a combination of Dorian and Dorian and the COVID pandemic that
Right.
kind of expedited the whole process.
Okay. Okay. So after Dorian is, this is looking kind of good. And then pandemic rolls around.
Right.
And of course we can't, one of your videos, you said, I've been up all night stalking y'all. I just letting y'all know right now. You said that, it got to the point where we go into the food store by last name. You remember those days? Lord,
Yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow,
Yeah,
I ain't gonna
was
touch
it
that.
for me.
So, so at that point, was that the turning point for you?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Work home was very scarce
Mm-hmm.
at that time. Working and not making any headway. I think we were both, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we were both just fed up, I think, with that day-to-day working 10, 12, 14-hour days, 6
Okay.
days a week.
Wow. Okay. So now so now you're like, okay, we're going to do this. But how do you now prepare to even take this trip, and why all the way over there? And when did y'all even leave? Which year?
2021.
yeah, we
August
started.
2021, we started.
Okay. All right. Okay. So how did you guys kind of prepare for this? Like, did you save up some money? Did you say, you got your clothes together? Like, how did y'all even choose this region
Well-
of the world?
Well, first and foremost, Hurricane Dorian, when it happened, basically kind of destroyed everything we had and everything we had owned. So, aspect, it was kind of easier to take off because we didn't have much that we were leaving behind.
Okay.
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 But then I was in Abaco trying to help rebuild after Hurricane Dorian, and then COVID just came in and slammed us.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn actually was in
North Carolina.
North Carolina
Okay.
while I was back in Abaco.
Mm-hmm.
So because Abaco was torn up, so it really wasn't nothing there.
Right.
And then COVID rolled in, and we were on lockdown, and it just seemed to be getting worse. So
So every time I would talk to him on the phone, I could hear the frustration.
Right.
He was tired. So I kind of behind his back started doing research.
Uh-huh.
He was dealing with cryptocurrency.
Uh-huh.
So I was researching countries that were crypto friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough,
You guys cut out. Hello. Okay, let's just take a quick commercial break, and let's see if we can get them back on the line.
yeah. So even before that, she had mentioned to me. Are you there?
Because you guys kind of went off air for a minute, so just give us a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Great Commissions Ministries is God's storehouse. They have been caring for the poor, homeless, and hurting since 1987. You are invited to support their Stop and Drop program by dropping off some food items in their barrels and some cash in their bottles. You can donate an offering each month or pay your tithes online to Credilify or Sun Cash apps. Help them to shelter the homeless, feed the hungry, and spread the gospel of Christ. Volunteer your service and support the Live to Give program. Call Great Commission Ministries, God's Storehouse, at 325-5801 for further information. or stop by the office on Wolf Road. Be blessed.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
And we are back. I think we have our guest back online.
Yep, we here.
All right, good stuff. Okay, so I think Dawn was saying that she was, every time she would speak with you, you sounded discouraged. There wasn't.
Yeah.
So you guys.
And that's hard from a woman's perspective, especially after everything was destroyed at home. And I was in North Carolina with friends of mine, and he was home living a whole, very hard for me to just sit back. So I figured, let me try to see what I can do to get us on a different path. And Serbia just kept jumping in,
How do you get, Dawn, how do you get to Serbia though? I mean, like all the places, not that you can't go to Serbia, but how?
All the places. I had never heard of
Serbia?
Serbia was a part of Yugoslavia. So Serbia's not somewhere that we ever came up hearing about. And the first time I heard about it, I was like, Serbia. But just was hard on the research, really hard on the research, because we don't speak the language, obviously. And it's scary when you grow up on an island and you're going across the world, different people, different culture, different everything. And I don't know, I just think we put on our brave pants.
When she told me about it, she asked me to look, for accommodations in Serbia. So I went through Airbnb, and we had both agreed we were going to do at least a month there, at least 30 days. Come to find out, that's the maximum amount of time we could have stayed anyway on our Bahamian passports. But when I checked Airbnb, the monthly rentals for Airbnbs were like 250, 350
for a month.
I was
Are you
like,
serious?
This can't possibly be right.
The first month we paid $280, and that was with the taxes.
It
was a great apartment, great location, close to the grocery stores. It was a win-win.
Yeah.
So, so how do you even get there? Like what route do you take to even get to Serbia? Do you remember?
The first year we flew from Florida to New York. Yeah, and then we took a direct flight from New York to Belgrade. No?
No, we passed through France, if I remember correctly.
Oh, you're right. We went from New York to France.
And then from France to Belgrade.
Right. So New York to France was 6 hours or so, and then another 2 hours into Serbia.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get there, and what is Serbia like?
Man.
It was, I think, initially I was just, well, first of all, when you reach, you got to settle, drop your bags, and the first thing you want to do is try to get some grocery and stuff, get all of that out of the way. Right. So I was already impressed by the apartment for the price. I was like, for $280, this is super conveniently located. The apartment was spacious. It had everything you needed.
We put the bags.
So we went to the food store, and we from Abaco, so we pricing things according to if we shopping in Maxwell's.
Right. Boy, and I like Maxwell's. Go on.
Oh yeah.
So we dropping things in the cart and we calculating at the same time according to if we was in Maxwell. So we get to the cash register. I said, baby, this about $300 worth of stuff, little over $300 worth of stuff, And so we get to the cash register and the woman says $8,000, right?
Right.
So I got the converter on my phone, so I put it in quickly and it come up to like $80.
Wow.
I mean, bags and bags of groceries. I'm talking like meat, cleaning supplies,
everything,
seasonings, like setting up a brand new house from beginning.
Yeah, so how are y'all?
Like, I think we need to hurry up and pay this and get out of here before this.
They change their mind,
right?
So, but how do y'all even? What about the language barrier? Like, how do y'all navigate this?
That has not been a problem at all. Most people on the side, 40 and under, speak English. So we have not ever had a incident that we weren't able to accomplish what we set out to do.
Okay.
And then there's Google Translate if you do have a problem.
So what is Serbia like?
Oh man.
Historic. It's
Very.
there's a lot of history. It's broken. We stayed in Belgrade, which is the capital. Belgrade is broken into two sections: Old Belgrade, which is like pre-war,
Right.
and then New Belgrade, which is post-war. So
Very modern.
yes, so there was a lot of history to take in. You know, I literally didn't know anything about the Ottoman Empire and the Turks and all of that
We
until
knew
I
who
got there.
Nikola Tesla was.
Right.
But that was about the only thing from Serbia I ever knew about.
Right.
So
And I mean, everything, all the people, super friendly, super helpful.
Yeah.
You know, we've traveled through a lot of countries in the Balkans, but the majority of Serbia.
okay, and I'm trying to figure out how was it in terms of, let's say, racism. Now, well, Dawn little light, Dawn little light, so Dawn
Right.
could get
Well,
away.
I'll tell you, I know people is funny. So that was one of the things. I didn't know if I should mention that at first. But coming as an interracial couple,
Right.
that was one of the first things that I was looking for historically. I did not want to take Ron and subject him to anything like that.
Right.
So I did hardcore research on that. And sometimes it's not even just that. They don't like the interracial things in
Right.
some countries. So really spent more time researching that, not to put either one of us in a bad position. But
Right.
I'll tell you, I don't think that
No, I think the research was well done in that aspect. Especially, what we do is called the Balkan Shuffle.
Okay. Right. Yes.
So we traveled around all of the Eastern European countries that are in that Balkan zone.
Okay, I was just about to say break it down, because remember now we ain't been over there now. We ain't over there. We ain't know too
so
much.
the Balkans are Bosnia, Montenegro, Serbia, Albania, Romania, Bulgaria. So we've done all of those countries.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Wow, this is amazing. Okay, now I saw that you went to Dracula's castle.
I took Ron.
I'm so
kicking and
excited.
screaming. Oh, that's right up my alley. And Ron's been very patient with me throughout the years. That's not really his thing. But you can't go to Romania and not
Exactly.
do that,
Right. Exactly.
And it was my birthday. So I said, hey,
We gotta go.
we got to go. He enjoyed it though.
Wow.
Dracula's castle wasn't the highlight for me. There was another castle called Peel's Castle that was like this super luxurious castle, ceilings lined with gold
And marble.
Are you
it was
serious?
crazy. Yeah. That was
Wow.
Incredible to see.
That's amazing. Okay, so from Serbia, because you're only there for a month, and what are y'all doing during this month?
Well, I wasn't working full time then, and Ron was doing crypto. So we did hella exploring.
Yeah, I had a good run in 2020, 2021 with
Yeah.
cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Yeah, like close to $30,000.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
For true?
Yeah, man.
He was doing very well.
Listen,
So
anyway,
that's
y'all,
kind of what we were.
anyone want to ask Ron and Dawn a question, you can give us a call, 422-4796. That's 422-47. Oh, I given you all the wrong number. That's the text line. Sorry. Okay, you can give us a call, 323-6232. That's 323-6232. Or you can send me a text message, 422-4796. Okay, so pretty much you guys are exploring, just kind of finding out more about the place. And
Right.
after the 30 days, where do you now go?
When we left there, we had made friends, and they had recommended that we go to the neighboring country, which was Montenegro.
So wait, hold on, because I noticed that y'all got plenty friends.
Oh, we made so
Like,
many
how are
friends
y'all
in
doing
Serbia.
this? How are y'all making all these friends?
Well, Dawn has that friendly look about
Oh,
her.
Lord.
So she just attracts people, you know.
Yeah, I am a magnet
So
for that.
we went to this place in Serbia called Kalemegdan. It's the fortress, right? And we went there exploring the fortress. They had some activities you could do. I did like this archery type thing. They was teaching me to do archery, and the guys that were teaching the archery ended up becoming two of our closest friends.
Wow.
Like our closest friends.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
And everybody else that we've met through them.
Okay. So, and what kind of food do they eat on that side of the world? Because I know y'all ain't getting no peas and rice here.
No.
And crab and dough. So what do they eat?
It's a lot of meat and vegetables.
Mhm.
They don't eat a lot of rice. I wouldn't say, but
No.
bread, which Bahamians know, that's the staff of life.
Right. Hello.
Bread, meat, and vegetables. Pork and beef here is huge. Rhonda only eats fish and poultry, but he's never starved.
No.
No.
Yeah,
But
I
this
saw
is
him.
very-
Dawn, I saw him Johnson for a piece of fish. You know, in one or two of the videos, Johnson for a piece
Yeah.
of
Right
fish.
to the food store. When we got in Bosnia yesterday, the first thing he says was, "Babe, we got to go see if they got my fish." And we went to the store, and sure enough, thank God, they had his fish that he liked.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Okay. So the food is a little different. And what do they drink?
I mean, basically regular stuff. I mean, the brands are a little different, but they
Yeah.
do a lot of juice.
Well, their fruit and vegetables here on this side, a lot of the countries grow their own stuff. A big thing is like pomegranate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, you could find a lot of natural juices here. The thing is, like I always tell people, I've never tasted a real potato or a real onion until I got on this side of the
Are
world.
you see? It tastes different.
Completely
Yes.
different.
You think you know how things taste home, but we were so wrong.
This is okay, guys. Just hold that thought. We have a caller. So let's let the caller go ahead. Hello.
A very pleasant good afternoon, Stanya.
Good afternoon. How can I help today? What's
Sparky, the
comment?
Bucket Mouth Master is here, and your guest.
All right.
You know, I watch, me personally, I watch a lot of TV when it comes to history and news and that type of thing to try keep up to date and that type of thing. As you know, we say, first of all, listen to me a second. We say this is a Christian nation. And when we say this is a Christian nation, say, in the Bible it tells us that God gave us the earth to possess.
Okay.
Not just the Bahamas,
Uh-huh.
but the earth
Okay.
belongs to me
Right.
and you.
So you
But
can
we
go
limit
anywhere.
ourselves between Florida. So one
That's
time we used to say Miami and Florida and Orlando, go to shop, come back to the Bahamas.
That's right. Columbus
But
Hotel.
when I hear people traveling to Soviet and Yugoslavia and things, now that's way up in the northeast
Yes.
of Europe, close to Russia, all up in them areas up on top there. But in the Bahamas, we keep crying and crying, but we came from Africa. Now, I'm not trying to say anything to discourage anybody, but I hear people traveling all over the place. They will go to see Buckingham Palace. They will go to see Russia, China, Japan,
okay.
all over the place. I don't hear much people say they will go back to the homeland, which is Africa.
Okay, Sparky.
Where they say life began was Africa, like they fly all around
Okay,
Africa.
Sparky. That's okay. Okay. No, wait.
I understand what he's saying, and Africa
Listen.
is in our plans actually.
Hold on, Ron.
Uh-huh.
People could go wherever they want to go.
That's
If-
very true.
If
That's very
Sparky
true.
wants to go, if he's concerned about people visiting Africa, then he could go visit Africa.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this you and Dawn journey, right?
We
Yes?
we
Okay.
ain't trying to miss no continent
Right.
actually. When we leave from here, we should be leaving from here. I think maybe in August. We've explored Eastern Europe for the last 4 years.
Right. Okay.
So when we leave from here now, we're supposed to head over to the Asian continent to
Oh.
start exploring.
Okay. See, someone just sent a text message saying, "What about Thailand?"
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, before we get there, because I got like about 20 questions. Hold on now.
Okay.
Now I noticed you went on. Is it Aegean Airlines or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what they do to your luggage, man?
Man, and listen,
Why you bring that up?
you know,
He just got over it.
I'd be so proud to represent the Bahamas with the whole Bahari luggage collection, you know. Man, listen, they tear my bag right up. I
That
was
was
so
the
upset.
time.
So what? I mean, they were going through stuff like how it got like that?
I do not know.
Because you can't use that no more. That's it.
No, I
No,
had
that
to
was,
toss
it was
that.
ripped. It was awful.
Needless
Okay.
to say, we haven't traveled that airline ever since.
No.
Okay. Now, before the caller, Dawn, you mentioned, or you guys had mentioned eating like potatoes and all this stuff. So you're saying that it tastes different? Like
Yes.
you could taste the real authentic taste of it
Yeah.
and texture and
Food,
everything.
though, has no taste by comparison to what you get here. Well, like we know that we always get the rejects anyway,
Right, yeah.
Fruits and vegetables, that's just the way that it is. But even the difference between shopping fresh in the US and shopping here,
Mm-hmm.
I would never shop in the US again as far as food.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
the selection, the options,
Mm-hmm.
again, is, I mean, we've never gone to the grocery store and not left with everything that we needed, much
Mm-hmm.
less what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go on, Ron.
I've never eaten cucumbers until I got on this side of the world.
That's true.
Wow, delicious.
Like, not to say that I mean, I have eaten cucumbers,
Right.
You didn't like
but I
it.
didn't like them
Right. But the
until I ate
flavor,
them.
everything is different.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you guys you leave Serbia. Where do you go next?
Montenegro.
Okay. What is Montenegro like? I mean, I've never even heard about Montenegro. Brittany, you ever heard about?
Montenegro's-
Oh, you have? Okay. So only me. Okay. So now we're there. How long do you guys stay there?
Well, we were supposed to stay for 90 days,
Yeah.
but Ron had to come home.
It got too cold. Listen, it took me 4 years for my body to adjust to this cold weather. Right? Dawn loves the cold weather, but I mean, listen, I need the sun to hit me every now and again.
So you was ready to come back for a little bit of sun.
Yeah, I had to come back.
So I was just gonna say. So what is the weather like? Pretty much. Is it like? I mean, like, do they experience all of the seasons?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Everything. I mean, from like we left Bosnia in February and the mountains were white, full of snow. And then here we sit and we have a beautiful green view, you know, so they definitely get every season.
so okay. And while he's home, what are you doing?
Well, the first year, I stayed in Montenegro. I finished out my time there and I wasn't ready to come home. So I made other plans and I went on to Istanbul,
So,
Turkey.
Dawn, you wasn't afraid to be there by yourself?
Girl, I was terrified. I take it back. In Montenegro, I was fine. I was fine. Montenegro, people are very laid back and kind and they ain't in your business, manning, looking at you, go anywhere you want. And I always felt safe.
Right.
Probably felt safer there than I do home,
Okay.
if I'm being brutally honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed my time in Montenegro so much. I went to Turkey, stayed in Turkey
By
for
yourself?
3 weeks. Yep. And then
Dawn, I
went
scared
to-
of you, you know.
Listen, I went further. I left Turkey and went to Tbilisi, Georgia, which borders with Azerbaijan and
What?
Russia.
By yourself.
By myself, and it was the best month. I was going to stay, but unfortunately, my mom got really, really sick, and I had to come home. Girl, I wasn't trying to come home.
So where was it when because I saw a video and I can't remember if it's a video or a conversation behind, and the person said that they kind of pulled you because they said that they never saw a Bahamian passport. Where were you?
That was in Georgia.
Okay, so what happened
that
there?
was girl, I thought I was deported before I got stamped. You know, when you're going through immigration, the longest you stand in there is 2 or 3 minutes. They
Right.
look at your passport, right? No big deal. Well, that was not the case. When I got up to the counter, they were going back and forth, and I obviously don't speak the language. They were passing my passport around. Then I see her flag one of the officers. I was like, well, that's it. Where am I going to go? They're not going to let me in.
Mm-hmm.
And they had worked at the airport. One of them had worked there for 20 odd years.
Wow.
And I think he said for 34 years. And they had never seen a Bahamian passport.
Wow. So this is the first Bahamian pass through.
Yeah, well, that they
That
know
they,
about.
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
They thought my passport was fake because we have those nice, pretty pages, the colorful pages, and they were honest. They told me that they thought that it was fake.
So how long did they detain you for?
They didn't pull me back in a room or
Okay.
anything, but I was probably standing to that counter for probably 20 or 30 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was pooping my pants. I called him and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I going to go to Bulgaria? You know what I mean? I just
Right.
didn't know what I was going to do. But Georgia, for me, I want Ron to go back with me.
It was nice.
It was oh man, listen, incredible experience.
What did you like most?
She video called me and told me, and then she puts the camera down on the cobblestone pavement and she's like, babe, I just want you to know, Jesus walked on this road.
Oh my goodness.
Listen,
Wow.
I'm not, that's not us being facetious. I am convinced Jesus rode his donkey on those roads. I have
Wow.
no doubt in my mind. Only he could tell me different.
This is amazing. Okay. All right. Now I also saw one of my favorite things. The mall.
Oh boy.
The mall.
mall.
Yes. Where were you when I think you were getting your glasses done or something and the mall was
yes,
huge.
That was in
That was-
Macedonia.
No,
That was in Macedonia.
when you got your glasses.
Yeah, and that was
In Eastgate.
In Eastgate Mall.
That's the biggest mall in Europe, they say.
yeah.
Wow. So what is in there like? Is it a woman's
Funny
dream?
enough, they do have some U.S. brand stores. Like there's some. What did we see? A Tommy,
What?
Samsonite store.
Samsonite. But they also too have a lot of their European
The brands.
brands. You know, so basically whatever you want, you'll find. Just like any mall in the U.S. Jewelry stores, watches, food court with a Burger King.
And the Kentucky.
And a
KFC.
Kentucky, yeah.
Okay. How was the Kentucky?
The best Kentucky that I've had on this side was from Tbilisi, Georgia.
Okay.
But the
You really
Kentucky,
liked Georgia, didn't you?
I loved Georgia.
Okay.
I adored it.
So Ron,
But yeah,
go
it's
on.
good.
No, I'm sorry. Go on.
No, she said.
What were you saying about Georgia or something?
No, I was just saying that the food there, I don't know, they have a way to take the grease out because it doesn't taste greasy like it does everywhere else.
At the
That's another
KFC?
thing too. In the Balkan countries, they don't do much deep fried food.
Right.
You know, they grill a lot of stuff, but they don't do much deep fry. It's hard to find deep. If you want deep fried, then you probably got to go to KFC.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I saw something about scooters on the side of the road. What's up with the scooters? And where were you?
That's Ron's department.
Well, I know they. I've been told that they have them in Nassau now, right? So you're talking about the e-scooters, right?
Yeah, because you were saying that they're kind of randomly placed
Yeah,
along the side of the road.
They're just all over the place. So if you don't feel like walking, I mean, you just scan the barcode, download the app, and ride off on the scooter.
Wow.
You know? They literally just parked like anywhere.
And people of any age just ride them from 90 years old. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, the e-scooter culture over here is like ridiculous. Talking about with the rentals, but over here a lot of people have their own personal e-scooters.
Oh, that's interesting. So what has been like some of the interesting things that you guys have seen, or I mean, weird, interesting, different, and it could be something you love or something, like, interesting. What have you seen that?
For me, it's usually between the fortresses and the waterfalls.
Okay.
The waterfalls.
Okay, why waterfalls?
Country, yeah.
In every country, yeah.
We went in Serbia and we spent like more than half the day just walking through this park. And I believe it was like 80 some waterfalls.
Yeah, it was
like
80 something?
Yeah, like
it's insane.
You can't really wrap your mind around some of the things until you're there and you see it. It's absolutely insane, the craziest thing ever.
So what is the game plan for you guys? Like how do you see your life now? Like what do y'all want to do? You want to continue doing it? Why? Like how do you see it?
Well, Well, like I said, we're going to Asia, but I really want to get over to the African continent. And I told her, I said, babe, I think if I get to Africa, I probably won't come back.
Okay. Okay.
And that's the like we have hope that we would one day be able to purchase something in a country and get residency and citizenship. That's the end goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do your families feel about y'all on, on the next side of the world?
You go first.
But my family don't have a problem. I've been a wanderer from time, so
Okay.
my family don't really have an issue with it. My dad, he loves it. He lives vicariously through the photos and the videos and stuff, So he loves it. My mom and my mom's side of the family, most of them are in the States, So the only time like they get to see me is through the videos and the photos and stuff. So everybody's happy.
Okay, because I saw you in Canada listening to Sexy Red with your cousins or someone.
Oh, that was in Atlanta. Yeah.
Oh, that was in Atlanta. Oh, I thought it was Canada.
Yeah, that was in Atlanta.
Okay, what about you, Dawn? How does your family feel about you being on the next side of the world?
Honestly, my dad was really nervous first.
Right.
He watches the news, and when you tell your parents you're going to Bosnia, or he had a hard time with it at first. And the last 2 years, him and my stepmom, my mom has since passed.
Okay.
She was okay with me traveling. She was nervous about it. But my dad and my stepmom have turned out to be some of my biggest supporters now that they know the other one.
Right.
They're not happy when I decide to stay when he has to come home.
Right.
But they've kind of accepted that I'm a globe trotter, and it's kind of the way
There's
that
no
it is.
stopping you. Okay.
No, not at all. Not if I
Okay.
can help it.
And the reason that I don't have a problem even leaving her on this side of the world is because the safety aspect on this side of the world is just it's like nothing that I've ever seen before.
I'd walk down the road here myself at night before I would do it in Abaco.
And,
it's crazy.
and I'm happy you said that because I mean, when we hear Serbia, or when we hear these the names of the countries that you visited, the only thing we associate these places with war zone or war
Right.
torn.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And that's
So-
everybody's initial perception.
right.
But
yeah.
if we're being fair, that was years ago. Like when even I was a child, and they would have the commercials on TV showing you Bosnia. It was always
Right.
a war torn place.
Yeah.
That's not what it is now.
Not at all.
Well, Ron, people think we live in huts.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
right.
grass skirts.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would have continued with that belief had I not visited these places myself.
Wow.
And this is why I always tell people, like, you can't go off what they telling you in the media, and so you got to go there and see for yourself, man.
Now, I have to tell y'all, you know what my favorite video, well, this is the collection. And I was laughing and laughing. You know which one?
Oh, Lord.
When you had to walk up that hill, the mountain or hill or whatever the
Oh
heck
my
it was.
God.
Listen.
That
So-
was not good.
So for context, I think my good friend set me up. Right?
I stayed home, thank God.
Set me up. We went to the mountaintop. So in Macedonia, the city of Skopje is like down low, and on top of the mountain there's this big cross. And so they wanted to take us up to get a closer view of the cross. I don't know why I thought the cross was a wooden structure when I was looking at it from down below. But when we got up there to realize how big the structure was, we had to take the cable car up the mountain, and the cable car ride is steep, right? So that should have been the telltale for me right there, right? But my good friend Kiko, he was like, we have a party up here. The party season is about to start. The first party is going to be on Thursday or whatever. You should come. And I figure, yeah, okay, let me go see what the party, you know what I mean? Let me go see what the party looks like. But that was the setup. I realized when I got in the car and both of them were wearing short pants and tennis. I was like, you know something? Ron, you already committed to it, so let's just see how it goes,
So how long did it take you to even get up there?
Well,
Sorry.
Listen, Dawn, I sure you had to rub his feet that night because listen, he didn't look out of it.
Listen, when 11 o'clock come and Ron wasn't home, all I could do was go out to the kitchen and start cooking food because I knew what was coming when he come back home.
So
I did tell that woman I rubbed her.
Yes, she did rub my feet. She did
Uh-huh.
rub my feet.
Wow.
It was an hour and 20 minutes from me.
To
Keegan
walk
and his
up
friends
to
usually
walk
do
up
it.
the hill? I mean, up the
Yeah.
mountain?
To walk up the mountain, yeah. It was an hour and 20 minutes for me, but they normally do it in like 40 minutes.
Wow.
You know? And if I'm being honest, by the time I got halfway up the mountain, I was ready to turn around and go back down. But this Macedonian man passed me, had to be like 60 years old.
Wow.
And he passed me with a pace going up this mountain. I felt embarrassed.
My God.
You
My
know?
God. Well, did you have
And-
fun at least at the party?
Well, I did have fun, even though it took me an hour and 20 minutes to get up there. But yeah, I did have fun. I enjoyed myself. It's just that 2 days later, I could hardly move.
My
I was
goodness.
making him food and giving him pills and telling him to take it easy for a couple days.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You could see he was out of it, though. You could see he was out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I saw the Christmas, I saw the Christmas, some kind of celebration, but I think it was a wedding or something. And man, listen, they looked like they was having a good time. Was it a wedding or something?
You mean the one where I took it off the balcony?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I was out on the porch.
Yeah.
It was random Saturday.
But out of nowhere. So I guess that's kind of a traditional Macedonian wedding.
Yeah, and those beaux stayed at that apartment for like 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess they keep it all like local. They were dancing in the street and having them a good old time.
Wow. Okay, let's take a quick commercial break and hopefully you can give us 1 or 2 travel tips for persons who are thinking about the gypsy life.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk.
Which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Winning on the court, just like investing, is about consistency and having the right partner. With RF's Advantage Plus brokerage account, you get exclusive access to high return securities, some yielding up to 7%, plus expert investment guidance. No need to chase every opportunity. We deliver priority trading, exclusive investments, and the lowest commissions, so you can focus on what matters most. Sign up for an RF Advantage Plus brokerage account today at rfgroup.com. RF Bank and Trust. Money at work.
And we are back and we are having a conversation with Dawn and Ron who have left terms. Okay, so to date, how many countries have you guys visited?
Let's see. Serbia, Montenegro, Romania, Bulgaria, Albania, Macedonia,
Montenegro.
Bosnia. So I've done, if we're talking just Eastern Europe, I've done 7 so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dawn has done, I think, 9.
Yeah.
9, yeah.
And basically you guys stay for about anywhere from a month to about 3 months.
Yeah, everywhere we're allowed on a Bahamian passport. The only country that only gives us the 30 days is Serbia.
Okay.
Like now we're in Bosnia, we're allowed 90 days at a time. Basically, it's 90 in, 90 out.
Okay.
So we
So
just left in March and are back now.
Yeah.
so how
On
much?
that note,
Go on.
on
No,
that
go
note, I
on.
just want to encourage your users. I mean, encourage your audience. Use your Bahamian passport, man. The passport strong, you know.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say this Bahamian passport. This a good thing, man.
Yeah, man.
It really
The
is.
passport's super strong, man. You know how many places we can go visa free?
Just with a Bahamian passport. I don't think we realize that. You know, we like to say, better in the Bahamas and all this stuff, but I don't think we really realize how good.
Right.
So I have a question though. How much do you guys spend roughly each month? How much are
Um,
you how much does it
I think
take?
usually around $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's not
it
bad at
depends
all.
on what country, how much you go out to eat.
Yeah, if we splurge a bit, it's usually around 2,000.
Okay, so anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000 per month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
And like even in Macedonia, things there are just very inexpensive. We were having a masseuse come to the apartment, and we were getting hour-long massages for $20 each.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
Yeah,
I am
and then
so
the next
jealous.
time she came back, she did
She did the facials too.
facials and massage. She was there for like 4.5 hours, and I think with the tip, it was like $120
Wow. For both of you.
for both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 120 total. Yeah.
So how do you guys support yourselves? Do you all have like online jobs? Do you daddy send me money? Like what do we
Oh, my daddy would say, I ain't got no money to send you.
Okay.
you on your
well,
own?
That's right.
So she works for a US-based company. And, naturally for that, you have to have a US LLC. So we have a US LLC. With that, we are also able to monetize social media content and sell digital products and services.
Right. Okay.
So
So let's
that's
get
how.
I know it's kind of coming in and out. So I don't know when you speak it, when it stops, it's kind of coming in and
Go
out a
ahead.
little bit. I have a question because somebody is asking me right now. Hello, Miss Most of the Show. Where can I watch the videos online? So first of all, I met you on TikTok, and what was the name?
The Bahamian Digital Nomad.
Right, and that's on TikTok. Where else can they interact or speak with you if they wanted to watch your videos or have a conversation?
Well, the TikTok channel would be where we post most of our content.
Okay.
But we have since created a Facebook page called Dawn and Ron. So we're in the process of trying to spruce up that page and get followers there, attract followers there. That would be a Facebook page, and we are just starting our YouTube channel.
Now,
But for the most part, all of the videos are posted on TikTok.
Now, I know that you have some digital products. I want to ask you a little bit about it because, I want to know how did you guys really do this? And of course, we can't have that. We're not going to cover everything in 1 hour, clearly. So I know that you have some digital products that kind of guides people if they want to, live this.
So we have a quick guide that's actually a quick 5-minute read, which is actually absolutely free. You can go to our online store at beacons.ai/the Bahamian Digital Nomad, and you can download that for absolutely free. There's no charge for that. We have some other books, Dawn and Ron's Digital Nomad Journey, which is like the full breakdown of what we do and how we did it. We also have the guide for obtaining your US LLC for non-US citizens, non-US residents. So we have that there also. And as far as digital products and services go, I'm a part of a community called the Royale Business Academy,
Okay.
which I also have that enrollment up for sale on the online store as well. That is where you get to learn a lot of the digital skills that.
Okay. So you learn how to kind of monetize social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, it teaches you how to do all of that, teaches you how to create digital products, teaches you how to set up your online store, and it teaches you new digital skills, whether it's automation, faceless content. There are classes for all of that stuff.
Okay, good stuff. And how can they reach you again? If they were, I mean, is it a website or where would they go?
Our website is being crossed over from a different server right now, but the website is dawnandron.com. Hopefully that'll be up within another few days. But for the most part, if you go on TikTok at the Bahamian Digital Nomad, there's a link in the bio that links directly to the online store, beacons.ai. So you literally just click the link in the bio, it takes you to the online store, and you can purchase whatever products, or if you want to join the Royale Business Academy, you can join from there.
And Dawn, of course, is DAWN, not DON.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so we just have a few minutes left. I want to ask, what is your take home from doing this? Like, what lesson have you learned about life in general? Like, and that's for both of you. I'm sure you may have different answers.
I think for me it's good to get out of your comfort zone. It's good to get out and explore for yourself. You know, don't just go based off what people tell you. Because I mean, life wasn't meant for you to stay in one whole life. I mean, I spent 40 plus years just in the Bahamas.
Right.
You know, and just getting out now and exploring the world, I'm learning so much new things that I probably never would have discovered had I just stayed home working a regular 9 to 5.
Okay. And what have you learned about people?
Well, I don't know how to put this without, let me just say, growing up on the Western side of the world, you only see things from that Western viewpoint.
Right.
Right? There are three sides to every story, people say: yours, mine, and the truth. Growing up on our side of the world, we only get the news from that side. You know, when you get on this side of the world, it's the story is different. You know, so you have to get both sides of the story, and then you could determine who's the hero, who's the villain, so on and so forth.
Okay. And what have you learned about yourself?
I learned that I was living hard back home, boy.
No lies told.
I've learned that if you can survive in the Bahamas, you can go to another country and thrive.
Facts.
Wow. Okay.
Facts.
Fair enough.
I feel like this has made me a better person on the whole. I feel like I've grown. I feel like I've learned patience, which I didn't have very much before, but I definitely feel like it's made me a lot more well-rounded, I feel.
Okay. And what have you learned about people?
I have just learned that you can't always trust every and anything, but on this side, I feel very trusting. But with people here, I don't know. I have a different feeling about them, and I feel like I trust people more on this side to tell me the truth about how they really feel about things, and that's a relief. Like, you don't like to, for people to smile up in your face and say the opposite of how they really feel, and we don't find that people here are like that.
Yeah, they have a lot more.
Very genuine.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely. Like, we were in Montenegro, and I noticed everybody, like, Montenegro has a big motorcycle culture. And a lot of people just leave their bikes parked out in the front of their places, not locked up. So I asked a friend, I'm like, well, they're not afraid that somebody's going to steal their motorbike. And, my friend told me, he said, listen, over here, the culture is different. You don't want to be known as a thief because your whole family is going to be labeled thieves.
And that's big shame.
And that like, nobody wants to bring shame to their family in these countries, so they're not going to touch anything that doesn't belong to them.
Definitely not in the Bahamas. Okay.
Right. Like, we were blown away, but it seems to be that way in every country. In Romania, we had stopped the police to ask them, how do we get a card for the bus or anything like that? And the police was like, oh, just get on the bus. You can ride the bus. Like, they're just a lot more laid back and tell you the way that things really are.
Wow.
In Albania, the fruit market doesn't have doors. They just have these like mesh curtains that they slide closed. And I asked one of the vendors, I'm like, so you're not afraid somebody is going to come and steal anything? They said, no. They said, even if someone comes in, they must be hungry.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
It says,
serious?
and they say, you know, we grow everything here. So you do whatever you take is like, we just go, it's no big deal.
Wow. This is amazing.
It's a very laid back, like all of these countries have very laid back cultures. And I don't know if it's because they've been through so much in the past. I don't know, but we are just always feel so loved and appreciated on this side.
Yeah. And
sure.
I like to say, I think that they've been through so much war that their desire for peace is so great
Ultimate,
at this
yeah,
point.
right.
Definitely.
So they're completely peaceful people, man.
Awesome. Okay, guys, I think our hour is up. You know, I don't want the white messaging me. So one last time, how can persons find you on TikTok? What's the name?
The name is the Bahamian Digital Nomad on TikTok and Dawn and Ron on Facebook.
Awesome. All right. I want to say thank you. Thank you for keeping hope alive for me. I think I may, you know, I need to start a gypsy life. I think I need to start it. Y'all are an inspiration.
Thanks for having us on. And anytime if you want some information or anybody wants any tips or anything, just reach out. We're an open book.
Awesome. All right, guys. That's it for today. I'll see you next week. Tell it to Stanya.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much for having us.